everyone, and welcome to this tips and tricks video for my time at Portia. I hope to be able to show you a lot of different interesting things about this game, so here we go. Here we are at the Haunted Cave attraction located on the Amber Island. Now you're probably asking yourself, why do we care about the Haunted Cave attraction? After all, the Rat King is dead, Huss and Tuss are defeated. The only reason why you'd come in here is to get a few ghost badges and to buy some decorations over in the gift exchange. Maybe get a few lanterns for the Time of Memories. What's so interesting about the Haunted Cave attraction, and why do I care about having optimal runs through the Haunted Cave? Well, it actually turns out that this is one of the most lucrative gall-making opportunities for steady income in the game. I was surprised when I found this, and I'm going to share it with you now. Let's start with the basics of the cave. First of all, of course, for every time you go in, you have to spend 100 coins. Or 100 galls, as most people refer to them. The intimidating gun comes free with purchase, so you can go ahead and pick that up. Now, as everyone knows, you can get these crystals right here, and they can be mined. There are anywhere from 4 to 6 of these crystals throughout these caves, and you can run this multiple times, and all it costs is 100 galls per run. Depending on the path that you take, will depend on the number of crystal nodes that you'll come across. But if you're in need of crystals and power stones and you don't mind spending the money, this is actually a pretty decent place to come. Now, each run through the haunted caves takes about a half an hour. And there are a few different types of ghosts that you want to be aware of. As you can see behind me, there are some ghosts flying through the air. They can stun you if they hit you. There's also the little scare moments there when the exclamation comes up, and if this guy hits you coming out, he'll stun you as well. Now, being stunned by these guys isn't a big deal. All it does is just dizzy you for a second, and you can keep going on. So, there's nothing to be worried about here. All it does is slow you down a little. At the same time, being hit by any of these things can also stun you. But it doesn't necessarily, it's not a guaranteed hit, so you might be able to just avoid them simply by standing in the right place. Whenever you come across little walls like this that are covered in bats, you can simply walk through them. It doesn't mean anything. And then we have the ghosts that actually have health bars to them, and you can use the intimidating gun to shoot them and get ghost badges. Everyone's aware of this if you've done this even once, right? Nothing new. Well, just so you know, if you were to actually use your sword on these, you can't harm them at all. So, if by chance you happen to start wailing on these guys with a physical weapon, don't worry, you're not going to hurt them. And that just demonstrated another thing. If you get hurt by one of these things, you actually gain the badges that you would get if you were to shoot them. As you can see, watch. He's going to hit me. Go ahead, Mr. Ghost. Hit me. There you go. And he disappears, and I get his ghost badge no matter what. So even if you get hit by those little, those leveled ghosts, it's not a big deal. You're going to get their ghost badges regardless. These decorations as well cannot harm you. As a matter of fact, you can jump inside of them if you want to. Neither will these guys. They'll just stun you a little bit. None of the things in here will cause you any real damage. This is the Disembodied Hand. In order to escape it, you simply have to press E multiple times. There is no way to actually avoid the Disembodied Hand. If it appears, it's going to grab you no matter what. Doing a quick dodge roll doesn't make you avoid it, and there really is no way to predict it. There are no traps on the floor. It's simply random. It happens at odd times for no apparent reason. So if you're trying to avoid it, don't bother. Something that you may or may not know is that the crates that are in this cave are still breakable. You can go through each one of the crates within this area and break them for gols. Now, that's not so much the very important part, as it is that you can also get ghost badges as well, as you can see. Now, a common misconception is that the number of times that the little exclamation points appear over your head somehow affect your score at the end. Actually, that's not true at all. The number of times you're spooked that's annotated up in the upper left-hand corner, I've never seen an actual mechanic for that. I haven't seen anything that actually affects at all. So I'm not even sure why it's there, other than perhaps to just show the number of times you've been spooked. Now, each one of these ghosts can give you either 1 or 2 badges. As you can see, it's possible to shoot more than one at a time. Now, each ghost gives you either 1 or 2 ghost badges, and there's been some speculation as to whether distance from the target with your intimidating gun actually affects the amount of ghost badges you get. From what I can tell, it doesn't appear to be affected in any way that I can see. After all, you can shoot them from here or up close, and it still gives you a random amount of 1 or 2. Another thing that people often wonder about is if you shoot more than one, like if you were hit a group of them, do you get bonus badges? No, I'm afraid not. I could scoop all 4 of these guys up here, and I'm going to do that right now, and then shoot them all at once, and as you can see, I got 2, 2, 2, and 1. No bonus badges. Another area that you might be aware of is this little parkour section right here. It is possible to parkour your way up to that area over there in order to get another crystal node, and also to hit those crates over there, and each one has the chance of getting more of the coins and more of the badges. Personally, I'm not great at the parkour part of this particular map, so I usually skip it, and I just hit these areas here. At the end of it all, there is the level completed congruer sign that they have up there. Obviously, that is a graphics glitch. It's level completed, congratulations. And when you cross this particular line right here, this arrow and the ghost, then you get the awards, the Ghost Badge award for completing the level. Now, crossing this particular line right here, you get a random amount of the Ghost Badges, right? I mean, there's no way to predict it, right? Well, actually, there is. And this game actually somewhat punishes you for going through this really, really quickly. If you try to cross this line before the 2-minute mark, it actually gives you a pretty small amount of ghost badges, comparatively speaking. If you wait for certain points, you actually get a considerable amount more. First of all, I'd like to draw your attention to the upper left-hand corner, where you can see that there's a clock ticking off seconds and minutes. That clock is important. If you go beyond 5 minutes inside this maze, you get 0 ghost badges at the very end when you cross the finish line. Now, oddly enough, the time that you cross the finish line here actually makes a difference. You notice up in the left-hand corner there, we're at 3 minutes and 24, 25, 26. Well, if you cross this line right here at certain points, you actually get the maximum number of ghost badges you can get. Now let me show you an example. Here we are, 344, we got 35 ghost badges. That's a nice little random number. But what's the maximum amount you can get? Well, from my experiments, the maximum amount you can get each time is 50 badges, and let me show you how to get it. So what are the optimal times to cross over this in order to get the maximum amount of 50 ghost badges? Well, it's pretty simple. Look back up at the upper left-hand corner again at the time ticking. The time that you want to cross that line over to that table is exactly 3 minutes, or 3 minutes 30 seconds, or 4 minutes, or 4 minutes 30 seconds. You want that exact time. If you're off by even a single second, you'll get less. Let me show you. Here, I'm going to get a little closer here just to make sure that I get the optimal time, and we'll wait for a few seconds to pass. I'm going to do it at the 4-minute mark for this example. Boom. 50 ghost badges right there. And this happens at the 3 minute, 3 minute 30 second, 4 minute, and 4 minute 30 second mark every single time. So then what's the most optimal run that you can do? Well, it's actually not too difficult. There are about 30 ghosts per run depending on the path, give or take 1 or 2, but there's roughly about 30 or so. And since each one of those ghosts gives between 1 and 2 badges, that's 30 to 60 ghost badges per run, give or take some, of course. The crates that you break, each one of those has a chance for getting 1 or 2 ghost badges as well. So that's kind of an unpredictable, but you can generally expect maybe about between 3 to 5 more badges to add to that as well. And of course, at the very end, if you're able to get right on that minute mark where you get the 50 badges for completing it at the correct time, then that's another 50. All in all, if you do this optimally, you can expect to get roughly about 120 badges per run. Now again, why do we care about these badges? What's so important about them? Well, I'm about to show you right now. Here we are at the Commerce Guild, and we are at the gift exchange specifically. As you can see, this is where we can trade in all of our badges to be able to get these little decorations and such, and the ghosts and things. No big deal, right? Well, actually, this right here is the way to get consistently 5,000 gols per day. Watch. Right here is the wall-mounted candlelight. You can buy 10 of these per day. They cost 10 of these ghost badges each. So getting 10 of them is 100 badges. And if you look, 500 gols a piece. Multiply that by 10 and you get 5,000 gols per. And these replenish every single day during the season of summer, as you can see right here. As long as you're in the month with this, you'll be able to purchase these every single day. And just to give proof of concept, we'll go here. And as you all know, I have certain skills that allow me to boost the value of everything that I sell. And market price today is at 103, so it is slightly affected. But as you know, the base price is 500 a piece. So we'll go ahead and sell these. Boom. An immediate 5,000, and in my case, 5,530 gols. And I can do this every day as long as I have 100 of these ghost badges every day. And these aren't difficult to come by. I can literally spend a single day of my time at Portia, do nothing but half-hour runs of the haunted cave, and I can get a couple of thousand ghost badges without too much difficulty at all. A single day worth of work can net you 5,000 times 28 gols. How much are you willing to work for 140,000 gols over the course of a month? And that's it. That's how you get an optimal run through the haunted cave in order to get plenty of ghost badges. And then once you get those ghost badges, selling them at the stores to get you a steady income of 5,000 gols apiece. As well, you're able to go through these caves and get all of the crystal nodes as well, and you'll be able to get just absolutely scandalous amounts of crystals and even power stones over a short period of time. I hope this has been useful to you and you're able to use this tip to be able to further your gameplay in my time at Portia. If you liked what you saw, please do the liking and the subscribing and the sharing on the social media. You guys are the best fans in the world. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, everyone, always remember that anyone can be a mouse that roars, but it takes someone special to be a lion that squeaks. So embrace your inner lion and squeak on! And go spook somebody in a cave today.